Hello, everybody, and welcome to today's webinar. Excuse me. I do want to apologise for any background noise that you might hear today. I am currently have had to make the decision to pull over on the side of the road to run this workshop after being stuck in a little bit of traffic this morning. So we are still going to be having a fantastic session. This is Canva for Beginners, and I know that you're going to get a lot out of the session also. So if you have any questions, like it says there, please, this is an interactive webinar, so please pop them into the chat. I can see the chat screen, and you will get a copy of the recording today. Now, this webinar is brought to you through the Australian Small Business Advisory Services Program, and we are very proud to be a part of it. So for those of you who don't know me, my name is Kerrie Saverin, and I'm the co-founder of Altitude Business Solutions. We have been working, excuse me, with the ASBAS program now for approximately 2 years, and really love the fact that these webinars are now free for people to be able to attend. Now, you're in the right place today if you're ready to take control of the look of your marketing without needing a graphic design degree. And this is something that's, obviously really freed things up, particularly for small business owners, because it allows them to be able to design all of their own marketing material. And it's a really easy program to be able to use. So what we're going to be going through today is we're going to be having a little chat about what is engaging content. We're going to be talking about what Canva is, and then we're going to go live inside the platform, and we're going to have a look at using some templates and designing your own. Now, this is the beginner's version of Canva. There is a more advanced version, which I'll talk to you about a little bit later. But certainly if you're a beginner in using the platform, then this is the place where you need to be. So what is engaging content and why do you need it? Well, studies have shown that when people hear information, they're only likely to remember 10% of it 3 days later. However, if that same information is paired with a relevant image, 65% of people are likely to retain the information. And this is really important when it comes to advertising your business. They've done eye-catching studies, and they've shown that readers actually pay close attention to information carrying images. And this is the kind of information that the digital age has been able to bring us. Before we were able to advertise digitally, we'd advertise in the local paper. We would know that that paper would be going out to 10,000 homes, let's say, but we didn't know out of those 10,000 homes, or, maybe 20,000 people who could possibly see it, how many of them were actually seeing it, how many of them were actually reading it, etc. Where with the digital age now, we can see all of this stuff. They also know that Facebook posts, as an example, when you're talking from a social media strategy, posts with images get seen 2.3 times more and have more engagement than images without. And I think if you've ever been on a social media platform, you'll agree that you do really enjoy having that image that's paired with it. It makes you stop the scroll, as such, as we like to say. So engaging content is relevant to the information that's being shared and relevant to the platform. It has an eye-catching design, and where possible evokes a little bit of emotion. And I want to give you some examples here. So if I was maybe talking about green tree frogs, and I was to share an image of a spider, well, that image is not relevant content to what I'm talking about. But if I'm sharing an image that's relevant to the content, now that's extreme, obviously, but you just need to make sure that whatever you're talking about is what the image relates to, and that it really draws that. And eye-catching design, what's really interesting is that majority of people will say, look, I'm not a graphic designer, but we know when an image doesn't look great. So we know when it doesn't look right, when the colouring isn't right, or when things aren't right. So an eye-catching design that gets people's attention and has nice colouring in it is always a good idea. And evokes emotion, particularly on social media. And I know that this really gets to people sometimes, but we can put an image up about something very serious, but if we put it up in a way that's in a joking manner or really evokes emotion in somebody, whether that's laughter, sadness, something that they can relate to, always really good. So where somebody goes, oh my God, yes, that's exactly how I feel, or that's exactly how, it makes the person put themselves into the shoes of whatever you are doing. And that's really important as well. So what is Canva? Well, Canva is a graphic design tool really proudly founded in Australia in 2012. And I've actually been using the platform since 2012. So it uses a very familiar drop and drag format and provides access to photographs so that you have a lot of content already in there. Now, it's used by non-designers as well as professionals. And this is obviously, this program for graphic designers has been a little bit of a wake-up call, I guess, in a way. You know, a lot of graphic designers will say, oh, if you're using Canva, you're not being professional enough. And that's not always the case. It really depends upon the client that you're working with. The client that you're working with wants to have input and the opportunity to help design something, then Canva is the best platform to do it in. You can share, they can make changes, they can approve stuff, etc. But if you're designing a whole entire booklet or brochure and that customer doesn't really worry about whether they have access to the content or not, then maybe another Adobe product is suitable as well. So the tools in Canva can be used for both web, print and media print as well. So whether you're making something to put into the local paper or whether you're using it to create a graphic that you put across social media, it can be used in both formats. So what does Canva mean for your business? Well, it allows you to create professional, engaging content without the expense of having to hire a graphic designer. I worked for a company where they hired a graphic designer. They're about 85 grand a year. And even if you were going to hire them from an hourly rate, most small businesses can't afford to be able to do that to take care of their social media. So it's a really great platform for that. Now, it gives you creative freedom to ensure that you're in control of the message that's being seen by your clients about you. And it's a really cost-effective way of being able to test different types of content in your marketplace. You know, as I was talking about with the old newspaper print, sometimes what you would do is you would get a certain ad printed on one page and then you get another ad printed on another page. You still had to have someone design both of those for you. You still had to advertise twice. With Canva, you can actually test things via a digital media strategy and be able to change things over very quickly to see what works and what doesn't work. From a cost perspective, there is a free version of Canva, which I always recommend my clients start out on the free version. Give it a try, have a bit of a play around with. But if you want your life just simply taken care of when it comes to this, the pro version is absolutely amazing. It obviously has everything that the free version has, plus it has access to additional templates, additional photographs, and probably one of the key things for me is the social scheduling. So you can actually schedule, create your design in Canva and say, post this to Facebook. So from a social media perspective, I don't then have to download that graphic and upload it into Facebook or upload it into another platform. I can simply schedule it directly from the platform, and that's really key for me as well. And at a cost of, you know, obviously if you pay yearly, it costs you a little bit less, but if you're paying monthly, $17.99 a month, I mean, really it's peanuts when you can look at the things that you're going to be able to do with it. And I will show you a few of those things today. Canva has an amazing amount of templates for you to be able to use. And this is really key. If you're someone like me, I'll be honest with you, I'm not very creative. Even though I work in the space of social media, I'm not very creative. Sometimes I need to go through those templates to get ideas or to come up with things. So having access to those templates is really key. And with the pro version, obviously you get access to so many of them. So 250,000 templates, which is huge for you to be able to use. Now, templates are very simple and effective. They're normally always quite eye-catching. They take into consideration things that graphic designers take into consideration. And can I tell you, those templates are coming from people who are graphic designers. So you can create a template and you can actually, as a designer, you can upload and be paid for that as well. So it's great for those of us, as I said, who are less creative like myself. And every element of a template can be adjusted, including colors and pictures. And we're going to be going through and showing you a little bit of that today. So let's go live. First of all, I just want to make sure that I'm going to share the right screen with you guys, because that's always a challenge when you're working from the car. So if I just go here and share my entire desktop with you, I think that might be a clever idea. There we go. So you should be able to see that we are live inside Canva now. Can I just get the thumbs up from somebody that you are seeing my Canva screen and you can see that we are live inside Canva, just so I know that we are in the right spot today and you're not seeing the wrong screen. It would be great. So from a perspective of being able to use the platform, everything is very easy. Great. Thank you so much, Stephanie. Appreciate that. So there's two things that I want you to pay attention to. Firstly, over to the left-hand side, where it has the menu going in a vertical direction. It starts with recommended for you and goes all the way down to trash. So this is what I like to call the vertical menu. And then you'll notice across the top, we have a horizontal menu as well. Now, I'll be honest with you, I don't really use this horizontal menu very much, but one thing I do want to point out to you is that there is a learn button there as well. Canva has a great university where you can actually go and learn all about it. And from the experts, and every time there is updates, they put updated videos in there as well. So if you are new to Canva and you are wanting to do something, you can go into that learn section and really search anything you want to be able to come up there. So I do want to point that out to you as well. But from a user-friendly perspective, there's a few ways that you can create designs. So up the very top, you'll notice there's a search Canva toolbar there that you can actually type words into and be able to search for a particular design. So if I was going to do maybe an Instagram post, I could start searching Instagram and you'll notice it gives you all of these options here for you to be able to go to. You can actually just click the create design button in the top right hand corner to create a design straight away. Or as you scroll down, you'll notice it's giving you some options. Now, first of all, it's showing you your designs. So these are the designs that you have used most recently. And you'll notice that at the end, they run on a horizontal way as well. And you'll notice at the end, it says see all. So you can actually be able to see all of your designs if you want to. But then as we scroll down, you'll notice it goes Instagram posts and it's giving you some examples there. And you could simply click on one of these examples and start adjusting the template. Keeping in mind, guys, that I have the pro version of Canva. So not all of these templates are available in the free version. I'm not sure if posters is, for example, like you might not see posters in the free version. But there's A4 documents, there's Facebook posts, there's logos if you're looking at creating your own logos, presentations, infographics, which are really popular at the moment, Instagram stories, flyers. There is just so many templates for you to choose from. And it makes things so easy when it comes to creating design. I'm going to keep it really simple today, and I'm just going to use that top button in the right-hand corner, and I'm going to say create design. So I'm just going to click on that, and I'm going to keep it easy, and I'm going to use an Instagram post. Now, for those of you that are familiar with social media, you'll know that you can use an Instagram post size across multiple different platforms. So a lot of my clients who are looking at using Canva for the aspect of being able to use it on social media, I recommend they use the Instagram size, and that way they can multi-purpose it down the track and use it on other platforms. So I'm going to go into using a templated design. Now you'll notice that next to the vertical menu, it's opened up another window which shows all of the templates that are available. And it gives you some options. So obviously it's got recently used. So there are any templates that I may have recently used, and you go through and you can have a click and you can see through some of those. Now, as we go down, this for you section is something that Canva actually learns. So it learns about the different types of posts that you like to do. And it tries to learn from what you're choosing, which is a really hard job for Canva when it comes to us, because we work for so many different clients. It's like, hang on a second, now she's looking for stuff like this, and now she's looking at stuff like that. But if you're very consistent with what you're searching within Canva, you'll find this for you section really helpful. As we scroll down, you notice that there are some other criteria, and these are normally trending topics. So you'll notice we've got coronavirus Instagram posts, and there's lots there. So this is, maintaining physical distancing. There's all sorts of information in there on corona, which you can use. We've got the newsroom Instagram posts, so sharing of important news that maybe have just happened in a responsive way. And then there's animated post. So an animated post has a little bit of movement in it. So you'll notice that those ones will actually move a little bit. Love Instagram posts. So obviously that one was very popular in February. Black Lives Matter Instagram posts, food Instagram posts, sale Instagram posts. So you can go through and you can select any of these templates to be able to use. I'm just going to scroll back up to the top and pick one that's very simple. In fact, I might pick one that I've already used. I'm going to go with this Have a Happy Easter one here, just because I want to show you a few things as well. And for those of you that have just joined us, I will apologise if there is any background noise today. I'm actually being put in a position where I have to run the workshop from my car, so you may hear the odd car go past or the aircon running in my vehicle. But if you have any questions, please pop them into the chat and we'll get them answered for you. So you'll notice when I've clicked on that template that it's entered the template straight into my design in the center of the screen. Now, any part of a template, you actually have the opportunity to be able to filter it. So if I was going to filter this wording in the middle, just like you would if you were inside a Word document, you can click on the wording to be able to change it. So I'm going to change this to happy birthday and say that it's a happy birthday post. Now, I like to have things a little bit even, so I might make sure that it's still 2 lines so that it remains in the center of the design. And then this where it says honoring the holidays tradition in true spirit, I might change that wording to wishing you a wonderful day. And that's a happy birthday post. Now, I could leave that post exactly the way it is, or I could say, you know what, that picture in the background, that's really a bit Eastery for me. It's not really a happy birthday message to me. I'm seeing Easter eggs in there, so I want to change it. And this is where it can get really clever with Canva. So over to our vertical menu, we're going to go down to photos, which is the 3rd button down. And this is where we're going to have the opportunity to be able to do a search of some photos, and the search feature in Canva is amazing. So I'm going to stick with the flowers theme and I'm just going to search for flowers, and it's going to give me a whole heap of options for designs here. So you'll notice that there is a few options that we can take that might fit in this design. I'm just going to show you. We'll take this first one here to the right hand side at the top. What I'm going to do now is actually hold my mouse down and I'm going to drag that picture across. You'll notice I'm dragging it over into my design. I'm just going to hover it over, and you'll notice when I do that, it pops the image in. Now I haven't let go of my mouse yet, okay? So if I come off that, it goes back to the old design. But if I hover back over it and go, oh, that looks beautiful. That's actually perfect for what I need. That's much better than the Easter design that was there. And I may very well be happy with that. Or after I do it, I might go, oh my goodness, actually, I thought that looked better than it did. I don't really like it. So I don't want that picture there anymore. I want to go back to the old one. So we have the good old reverse button or the undo button up the top. So from the left-hand side, it's the 4th button in, and it's the one that's got the little arrow pointing to the left. If I just click on that, it will remove the last thing that we did. And this is an unlimited amount of returns. So you could go all the way back to the original image by using this arrow as well. So let's say we were going through and I'm going to choose that same design. Maybe I'll choose this one. Maybe I'll go a different one. This one's a good one. So see how this one is actually a long rectangle design, and keeping in mind we've got a square. So this is something really important to show you. So again, hanging onto the image, dragging it over, and as I touch down, it's put it down into the image. Now it will actually put the image in the center of whatever that image is. So this image is a long rectangular, so it's gone straight for the center. If I want to move that image, if I just double click on that image, it opens it up and allows me to be able to move it across. So I could move it all the way across and select done, and it could be right in the very background. Or I might decide, no, I don't like that, double click on it again, move it back so just a little bit of the flowers is in that bottom corner, and I might do that. Now you can do this with any image. You can drag it across like that. But if you're wanting to get the image that's absolutely perfect for this design, you can start using some share tools. So up in the search bar, you'll notice where we've put flowers. At the very end, you'll notice some lines with the little circles on it. These come down to filters. So in our filters, we can actually say, just show me all of the square photos. So these are the photos that are going to fit that image perfectly. Just show me all the square ones. And we can apply filters, and you'll notice that all of the photos that are shown are all square ones. Now, if I scroll down, there's a couple of options here for me, but I'm going to select this one here, hanging onto my mouse and dragging it across, and you'll notice it fits perfectly into the design. Now, when it comes to the wording, of course, anything on this wording is actually adjustable. So as I click on the words, you'll notice that your familiar toolbar comes up. You know, the one that you always see in Word and Excel, you've got that familiar toolbar that's there. So you'll notice that that comes up, and it gives you all of the options that you normally have. So you can change the font to a different font. So if I just was to go like this and change it over. Now, if you're using the free version of Canva, you will be limited in the number of fonts that you can choose from, that there's still plenty to choose from. You might decide to go with a little bit more of a handwriting one. You can also change the size. Now, you can change the size by doing a couple of things. You can go up or down with the little up or down plus or minus symbols that are next to the font size. Or the other way that you can do it is, if you come back to your image, you'll notice that in the corners of your text box, there is these little circles. Now, if you hover over those circles, click on your mouse, you can actually drag the corners of that, and that will also change the size of the font also. When it comes to the color, you can change the text to be any color that you like. So as I click on the change the color tool, you'll notice a whole heap of options come up. Now, I'm not sure if it does this in the free version of Canva, but it definitely does in the Pro, because obviously it's here. I love the fact that it pulls out all the photo colors. So I can actually go through and go, well, I'm going to pick the exact blue that is in that photo to change that word to, or I could go the red that's in the photo, or the green. And it's pulling the colors directly from out of the particular photo that we've used. On the Pro version, the other thing that you can do, which is really clever, is you can set your brand colors. So you'll notice I've got a brand there of Altitude Business Solutions. Obviously, that's my business. And we've selected all of the brand colors that we use for that brand. So I could say I want to make it more of a brand color style, and I could click that in. So being able to change the colors obviously gives you the option of being able to really personalize things to be more about your brand. Now, of course, we go across and we've got bold, and you'll notice that some fonts, sorry, let's click on that again. Some fonts will allow you to do bold and others won't. So this particular one, I can't bold this one. I can underline it if I want to. And this is telling that, you know, what alignment do I want? It's currently in the center, but I can have it to the left. I can have it to the right, or again, back to the center. We've got this effects button, and I do use this all the time. If I click on effects, it gives you some options here, and I think most of these are available in the free version, but this lift one here, I actually use all the time. You'll notice the difference that that makes when I click on it. If I turn the lift off and I turn the lift on, it nearly puts like a little shadow behind it, and you can change the intensity of that shadow. So you notice I've increased it, or you can go all the way down as well. The halfway mark always works really well for me, but if you were trying to put wording over a picture, there was a picture in the background, I would be intensifying that feature so the wording really stands out. But that's a feature that I use all the time, and you can see obviously you have different neon options for you as well, shadow, splice, all those kind of things. But this lift one is one that I use all the time. Now, another cool feature that I want to show you in your photos is this is how you can really keep things on brand when it go back to having a look at our filters. And I am going to say, you know, my brand color for Altitude Business Solution is blue. So I'm going to say, show me all of the flowers that have the color blue in it if I'm making this for my brand, then I want to, keep it brand specific. That's very important to me. So show me all of the blue and it will bring all of those up. The other thing that I want it to show me is see where it says availability free. Now, if you're using the free version of Canva, I suggest that you click this button so that it brings up only the free images. So you're not going to be worried about using an image that's a pro image. And then we're going to go apply filters and look at that. It's bringing up all of the flowers that have blue in it. And a lot of them have blue in the background. And some of these you might go, you know what, this is not really suitable for what I'm looking for. And you don't find anything that you can use. But if you're looking for particularly a solid image, if I was to get this one that's, completely covered by a blue flower, pop that over. And then maybe what I would do is change the wording to white so it stands out a lot more. And maybe even move the wording just to be a little bit above center. Might even bold this one down the bottom and put the lift effect on that as well so it stands out a little bit more. There you go, you've got a completely different design again. Or if I don't like that, I go, oh, I don't like any of those changes that I can make. I can use that get me out of jail free cards, as I like to sometimes call it, and go back and go, no, we're going back to the original one that we are. So can you see that from these templates, you can actually adjust anything, and it's all very familiar. And this is what has made Canva so successful, is the fact that they've taken the simple drop and drag that everybody is used to in the majority of platforms that they use, and they've put it into a graphic design tool and made it really simple. Of course, there are advanced features that Canva has, but we're not touching on those in the beginner version today. I'm just going to go back to templates for a second, and I just also want to show you a different kind of template. If I can find maybe this one here. If I click on this one here, you'll notice I can replace that whole entire design if I decide I don't like any of it. So here's another one also. So all of this can be templated. If I go back to my photos and I might search hearts. I need to turn off my blue filter. I'm just going to say clear all. And it's going to show me everything with hearts. I'm going to pick this glittery one and bring it across. So obviously I can change the background, but also we've introduced a shape here. Now this is what's called an element, this shape. So I'm going to click on that and I'm going to change that color. And again, really clever. It's giving me the option to actually pull the colors from out of the photo if I want things to stand out a little bit more. So I might go maybe that color pink. And again, with all the wording, I can change any color of that to make it more either on brand or better for the design so that it looks a little bit better as well. But this is called an element, and I just want to really quickly touch on those elements. So over on your vertical menu, it's the fourth button down, you'll notice there's an element button. Now, an element is something that you can enter into a design. So to give you an example, in the search bar, I'm going to search heart. And it's going to give me a whole heap of options. Now, if I decide I like this one here, I can simply put it straight into the design like I have there by clicking on it. So all I did was click on it and bang, it's landed in the design. Or I can drag it across. Now, be careful as you're dragging across, you'll notice how it's wanted to put that into the background. And we don't actually want it into the background, we just want it into the design. So once we've got it into the design from there, we can actually resize it. So we can make it the size that we want. Now this particular element, I can't change the color. You'll notice I've clicked on it and the color option is not coming up. So I can't change the color of that particular element. I can, however, move it and sort of pivot it a little bit. So right at the very bottom of the box that is around that element, you'll notice that there is a little circle with some arrows in it. If I click my mouse on that and move that to the left or right, it pivots that heart so that it's on more of a 45-degree angle. So this is what we call an element, and that is how you can get some really cool little features into your design also. If I go back to my elements, all the elements that I've recently used. This comes in really handy. I've done a whole heap of work early this morning on I'm creating a workbook for a seminar that I'm about to do. And all of these little elements I was able to find within Canva. So if I just very quickly show you, on your design, just to the top right-hand corner, you'll notice that there's a couple of tools that you can use as well. The first one is duplicate this page. So if I click on that, it simply creates the exact same design twice. Or the other thing I can do is I can add a new page. So if I add a new page, you'll notice there that straight away it creates another design for you. Now, if it does come up black like mine did when you saw, you can simply click on the design, press the delete button, and it will always take it back to white. So that gives you somewhere to start out with. But this is where you can use elements, and I'm just going to give you an example by popping in one that I know I've already used. Now, as I pop that element in, this is an element talking about pillars. Well, that's what I used it for. But you'll notice that with this particular element, I can change the color. So the little color box has come up in my horizontal toolbar above the image. So as I click on that color, it's going to give me the option again to be able to go brand specific if I want to. Or I can then go, you know what, I'm going to take the same pink from the previous photo and use that. So this can give your designs a real element of professionalism, so that you can go through and add in some really cool elements. One that's a really good feature would be these frames that you see down here. A lot of them are self-explanatory. Shapes, you know, designing for a cause, that's all really, it's all self-explanatory. Stickers are normally animations that happen. But these frames here that you can see with the little hills and the clouds in them, these are ones that I use all the time. So I'm just going to go see all so I can show you all of these. So anytime you see something with a little rolling hills and the clouds like this is what we call an editable design. Now I'm going to scroll down. So I work my way through, scroll down, you'll notice there's lots of options. So see how we've got, I'm just going to delete this pillar element out. See how we've got this one that looks like a computer? I'm going to click on that now, and it's going to put it into the image for me. Now, a couple of things that it does, it allows me to resize it by just pulling down on the corners. And if I'd like to move that design on it, you'll notice as I sort of move it across, see how that purple line comes up in the middle? That's telling me that that element is in the middle of the design. And if I go up and down, it'll bring another one up telling me you are now dead center of the design. So that makes it really easy to know if your element is in the middle of a design. Now, anything with these rolling hills in it, it's really cool because you can actually pull features into it. So if I was to go into photos, and I'm just going to use, we're on hearts, and just stick to that. So I'm going to grab one of these heart designs, hold it down with my mouse and drag it over to my image. You watch what happens when I get to this element. Look at that. It puts it in to the actual frame of the computer. So this is where you see those mock-ups, you know, you see the live mock-ups, etc. This is how people do that. Now, you can do this with all sorts of things. So if I was to search photos, I'm going to search for webinar, and it's going to bring up a whole heap of options for webinar. And I'm just going to drag this guy across and put him in, and now he is in the middle of that computer. So this is a really cool option for you to be able to do a mock-up of a computer with something on it. Another thing that I will show you that you do have with the Pro version as well is being able to add in multiple, get my wording right here, but being able to actually do mock-ups of your designs. So if we were to look at this design here, going back to our happy birthday pink design, and I was to click on effects that are up the horizontal toolbar above the design, I've clicked on effects. You'll notice here it's given me an option for smart mockups. So I'm going to go see all. This is a Pro feature, but let's say I wanted that design to be on a book, and I can click on that. and it should work its little magic. Oh, it hasn't really worked properly. Sorry, I think this is my internet playing up. It's not really working properly. But essentially what it does is it mocks up that particular design and puts it on a book cover, or puts it, so you know when you see people that are advertising their businesses and it puts the logo on the mug, you know, so there's one of a mug where you can put your logo on it, which is really cool. So you can have those little mock-ups as well as part of the pro version. So that's pretty much it in relation to templates. Did anybody have any questions that they might like to ask on that? Obviously, we have the chat feature, so please pop your questions into there. If you didn't have any more questions, what I might do is I'm going to move on to creating a design from scratch. So I'm going to go back to my original screen here, and I'm going to say I want to create a design. I'm going to choose an Instagram post again. It is going to bring up my blank design, but this time I am not going to use templates. One thing I did forget to show you in templates is that you can do a search of templates. So let's say that you're, I'm going to use my business because that makes my example really easy. If I was to search social media, it's going to bring up a whole heap of templates in relation to social media. So if I was to hover over this thing, 20 things to post to grow your personal brand, that could be relevant to my business. And so I could use that as well. So if you were a cafe, I could search cafe, and here it's giving us some options. So, you know, coffee is always good. You know, you might have a salad special on that you like to use, or pizza. It's giving you lots of options there as well. So you can do searches of those templates, which is really clever to be able to enter in. But we're not actually going to use a template now. I really want to show you guys how you can create your own images from scratch. So being able to create your images from scratch is really important for you to be able to get that brand consistency that you might be after, or to be able to create some unique designs that you know nobody else is going to use. And I always start from what I call the base and work my way to the front. So when I think about an image, the first thing I want to think about is what's going to be in the background. Am I going to have a color in the background, or am I not going to have a color? So if I click on the design, you'll notice where the horizontal toolbar would be. The only option that I have at the moment is a little color swatch. If I click on that, it comes up with all of the colors. Now I want to keep this brand specific, so I'm going to click on one of our Attitude Business Solutions colors. And remember, with the Pro version, you can upload your brand colors so that you have those there easy to use. Otherwise, you can use, with the free version, you can use the default colors that are down here as well. So I've put that background in. So I always start with the background. Now, the next thing I might want to do is add in some elements. So if I go to elements, I am going to add in a square. So if I come down to square and I click on that, it is going to put that into my design. I'm going to move it around simply by clicking on it and moving it with my mouse. And then I'm going to drag it across to fill out that design a little bit better. And I'm actually going to change the color of that to make it white. So straight away now it looks like I have an Instagram post that has a blue border on it. So see how we're starting from the back and we're working our way to the front. So the next thing I might want to think of is wording. Now there's a couple of ways that you can do wording. You can use the vertical menu over to the side and you can click on text. And there's a few things that it does. You can simply go add a heading or add a subheading, or, you know, whatever you're wanting to add. Or you can have these little templates of wording, and this can make things really cool as well. So if I was to scroll down, you can see that there's all sorts of options there for you. That you can use. So you can simply say, I'm going to use this one here, and you click on it and it puts it directly into your design. Now you can click on that, move it around, resize it so that it fits in with the design better, change any of the wording. Hello, because I couldn't think of another original word to use. Change the coloring of it to be any color that I want it to be. And straight away you have a design that you might be able to use. So it doesn't have to be so much wording. You can change all of that. If you don't like, for example, maybe this line where it says dinner and drinks are on me tonight, if I don't like that line, I just simply click on it and I can delete it out and it's gone. So that can be a really easy way for you to be able to enter in some wording in there as well. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go back and get rid of that design. And I'm going to now go up and say, no, I just want to enter in text that I can adjust. And I want to add in a bit of a heading. So if I add in a heading, all I did was click on that wording where it says add a heading. If I just click on that, you'll notice that it enters in wording for me. The other way that you can do it, for those of you like me who are old enough to remember MS-DOS, we were all about keyboard shortcuts. So I can press the letter T and it will actually enter in the wording for me. So there it is there. So either by clicking on it with your mouse or pressing the letter T will get some text into your design. Now from here, I can click on that and straight away my horizontal menu comes up just above. I can change all of the wording over. If you do a search for handwriting, this will bring up all of the text that's in handwriting. This is really cool. As I said, with the free version, you don't get as many, but you do still get some. So you can go through and you can change that. Now I can change the size of it I tend to work a lot with my mouse. So by dragging those corners, or by up in the toolbar, you can use the plus minus buttons to move it, or you can click on the numbers and I could type in 100 and it will take it to the size 100. So that is how we can add in our text. So we can add that in there. So again, that's pretty much covered how you enter in text. We've done elements. So we might say, you know what, I'm going to add in this little frame here. I'm going to bring it down to the bottom corner. I'm going to sit that there. I'm going to go back to my photos. I'm going to search for flowers. I'm going to drag some flowers into that frame and see how pretty that looks, something a little bit different. So those frames are really cool to be able to use. I'll show you something a little bit different with frames in just a few minutes also. I'm conscious of the fact that it is 12:15, so I'm trying to squeeze as many features as I can into this for you also, keeping in mind that you will get a copy of the recording, so you'll be able to look back at it again. So as you go through, you can enter in all your elements. Now we have actually covered templates. If I go back to my vertical menu on the left-hand side, we've covered templates. We've gone through photos, we've gone through elements, we've gone through text. I want to skip back up to uploads. Now with uploads, you can actually upload your own photos, and this is really cool. So you can upload, you can see I've got a lot of screenshots there. There's a picture of myself there. So I might want to enter in that picture of myself. So there's two things I can do. I can click on it and I can drag it over into the design, or I can simply click on it and it will make it land in the design. Now, one thing I would tell you with uploads, it is very simple. You'll notice there's the big purple upload media button. You click on that button, you choose where your file is, and it will upload it directly to Canva. So not PDF, it will upload images, audio, and videos. But yeah, you can't upload a PDF file into Canva. So this is why you see a lot of screenshots. We use Canva a lot to be able to pitch to particular clients doing up some presentations. And so this is for us where we can upload images about that client, which is really cool. I'm just going to get rid of this wording because it's in the way. I'm just going to click on it and delete it out because I really want to show you this. I'm also going to click this element because it's a bit distracting and get rid of it as well. Now, to get rid of anything, as I said, you can just click on it and press the delete button. Now, with any images, this is where you can start to get really professional. So if I click on that image with the Pro version, you can go up to the effects button, and there's a few things that you can do. First of all, you can remove the background. So this is where I can take a selfie just like this of myself and turn it into a bit more of a professional image by removing the background. You'll notice in the background there is just a wall in my house, one of the walls in my house from the 70s. Yes, it is painted. So you'll notice it's removed that background entirely, and what that does, it allows the image to look very professional. If I was to make that bigger and maybe even delete out this white, you'll notice straight away it makes that image look pop a little bit more. Now, the other thing I can do when I click on that image and go to effects is I can add what's called a shadow. Now, you may have seen this shadow effect. They use it a lot, particularly in YouTube thumbnails. And it's just where you can actually apply a bit of a shadow that's going around to the actual effect. You can change the color. So I'm going to go a really bright color just so that you can see the glow a little bit. I'm going to say apply. And here I am trying to show you, and it's not going to work. Why? It's probably because my internet is a little bit unstable. Oh, it's not going to work, guys. Sorry. What it does is it puts a nice pink sort of shade all around the photo so that you don't have to, you can just add that sort of pink border in that's going around you, or whatever color that you want. So you may have seen that on a few. Oh, how to get the background remover? Sure, I can do that. I can do that again. Sorry, I can see that there, Abby. So all you do is pick your photo. So I'll pick that photo of me again, get it into your design, make sure you click on the image and then go up to the effects. The effects is in the toolbar above the image. Click on effects. And if you've got the pro version, the very first thing that you can see at the top there is background remover. And when you click on that background remover, it takes a few seconds and it removes the background. So I use this all the time in a lot of my advertising. I like to take fresh photos. I like to take photos that are, particularly if I'm sending something out about what I'm doing that day. And so you can remove the backgrounds really easy. It just gives that real professional look. This is not the best image to show you because obviously it's not a square image, so it's not fitting within this very well, but you guys get the idea of being able to remove that background and how good that looks. So that's another really cool feature, but being able to upload your own images is a really, really cool feature. And particularly if you're working with clients, allows you to add in lots of different elements as well. So the other thing that I want to touch on is styles. Now, you might not have this if you have the free version. I'm not sure if this is a pro version or not, but this is where for a particular design, you can pick a certain style. And it will actually, if you decide, yes, this is all my coloring here, I can click on that and I can say, yes, they're the colors that I want to use. So that when you go up into your color palette, you'll notice here that it's giving you those options to be able to add it in. So that's really great if you're someone who, I don't know what blues go with blues. You notice down here it's got a Barlow bold, which has got a lot of blues in it, which we could possibly use for our imagery. And as we click in, the more we click it, it just goes through and it gives you different options. So it puts blue into the background and shows you the heading in bold and all that kind of stuff. So using that styles is really good if you're not someone who is great with being able to get coloring, or you're looking for brand colors. You might not have started your business yet and you're looking to select some brand colors, and Canva really easily puts them together. One thing that I will say to you is if you're going to be using Canva to create your own logo, please avoid really hard to read script wording. Something like, if I was to scroll down, probably something like this here. So you'll notice this top wording here. If I can change it maybe to white to make it stand out a little bit better. But it's not, I might delete my photo out. There we go. It's not very easy to read. So, just think about that from a logo perspective. You want your logo to be recognizable and easy to read by everybody. And I see it all the time where people pick this really nice handwriting, and it is beautiful, don't get me wrong. But from a logo perspective, it's like, is that an E or an A? I'm not quite sure. So just making sure you're picking something that's really clear. And you can definitely have like a handwriting one, but see how this one is that's quite clear. So that would be my suggestion to you. As a pro version, you can also have audio. You can also add audio to your designs. Now, Obviously, you would only do this if you were doing a video or an automation, but it gives you access to all of this music, which is great. And this is music that you can use across social media also. So if you were to post directly to your social media platforms through Canva Pro, all of that music comes across, so you can add that in. The other thing that you have with the Pro version is access to pre-recorded videos. So if I click on that pre-recorded video button, it's bringing up a whole heap of options. And I'm going to give you an example here and delete this wording out of this design. This is one that we use quite often. If I was to click on that video, you'll notice it's a video of just a whole heap of, we use it quite often for backgrounds of things. It's in line with our brand color a little bit and creates that bit of a difference. Remember, on places like social media, we're trying to get to stop the scroll. So you can put these videos into the background, but there is beautiful ones like this one here of a beach. I mean, who doesn't want to go there? So, you know, when you see those ones either on social media in some sort of advertising where they have a video, it's quite often it's this pre-recorded video. I mean, this person is swimming away in this beautiful ocean. So you have access to all of this through Canva Pro as well. Now, as we go down, we've got the background button there that I want to talk to you about. And this is all different backgrounds that you can have. Obviously, there's a search bar, so you can search the search bar for as many backgrounds as you like. If I click on one of those backgrounds, it simply puts it straight into my design. So I've just clicked on that food one there, but I could have Smarties in the background if I wanted to. Gradients is really popular. So if I go see all gradients here, you notice it's giving you a bit of a colouring here that sort of goes from a greeny colour down to a more bluey colour. So that's a really popular one that you can use also, is gradients. So that's how you can get backgrounds in. Now you can just have a block colour for your background. You don't have to have a gradient, or you can choose something like this one here that's a gradient with some, I was going to say starfish, but they're jellyfish in there as well. So many features. Obviously today is the beginner version of how to use Canva, so I don't want to go too much into detail, otherwise I will confuse you guys too much. But did anybody have any more questions that they wanted to ask? Any features that maybe you heard of that you want me to clarify? If so, now's the time to ask. We've got a few more minutes left, but I'm just going to go through the rest of the presentation just to make sure I don't miss anything. So we've been inside Canva Live, we've been through what engaging content is, I've told you about Canva, we've used some templates and we've designed our own. So you can see you can pull anything in and design from scratch if you want to. Now, as I said, you've come to this webinar today through the Australian Small Business Advisory Services Program, and there are some options for you now. So you might like to have a one-on-one session. Now, those one-on-one sessions are actually from $44, not from $66, so that's great value there. Or there's the 2-hour workshops that you can attend also, which represent great value, or continue to book in for these free webinars. Fantastic value up until the 30th of June. You need to get onto that. Now, our next free webinar, well, not necessarily our next one, but the next one that you guys might be interested in is probably taking the next step. This is create and schedule content using Canva Pro. So this is where I go through and actually show you guys how you can use the content scheduling platform within Canva to be able to post your designs across to your social media platforms. It's really easy to do and it's a fantastic feature. So we actually go through creating it, scheduling it all in, and actually doing it live for you in that session. So it's really great. Going back to the last slide, I can do that for you. So we're talking about the slide with this one here. Rhea, I hope I've got that right. The slide about, so options for you for Queensland, Western Australia and Northern Territory. You have the 1-hour online sessions with a one-on-one with an expert. Or you can have option 2, which is a 2-hour workshop for $25, or there's these free webinars that you can attend also. So with the copy of this recording, I will send you all of that information out, including the links where you can book directly with the Australian Small Business Advisory Services Program. The great thing about booking your one-on-ones is that you have access to experts right across Australia. So you could be talking to an expert about Facebook ads who is actually in Perth and you might live in Queensland. So it gives you this wide access to all these fantastic experts who know what they're talking about when it comes to the subject that you're choosing. Now, guys, I want to thank you so much for joining with me today. I want to say thank you for your patience in relation to the fact that I'm actually, if I turn my video on, you can see I'm actually sitting in my car with my headphones in. So this is the great thing with live webinars. You've got to do them when you've got to do them. So thank you so much, guys. I'd love for you to connect with me over social media platforms. I am a social media manager, so of course I'm across all of them. I have to be for my clients. Not something we recommend for our clients, but definitely I have to be. So please connect with me over social media platforms. And I really look forward to possibly seeing you in another webinar down the track. If you have any questions, please don't hesitate to flick me an email or some sort of message, and I'll get to them and answer you. But I would like you guys to enjoy the rest of your day, and I hope you really got something out of that session. Have a great day. See you later.